My attorney called urgently. Stay there. He exposed my daughter's shocking betrayal.
I was preparing for dinner at my daughter's house. Then my lawyer texted me. "Call me right now," he wrote. I called him. His news about my daughter stunned me. Cedar smell filled the air. It was a ghost from my old closet. My suits had hung there for years. I fixed my tie knot. My hands moved slowly. It was a normal Saturday routine. At 70, habits are good friends. My wife Margaret gave me this tie. It was dark burgundy with gold stripes. I recall that day. She smiled and said it matched my gray hair. She passed away 2.5 years ago. Now it is just me. The house is huge and silent. I walked down the hall. My shoes tapped softly on the walnut floors we put in together. Her photo was on the front table next to some keys. I stopped. I always do. I fixed the wooden frame. "I am going to see Amanda," I told the smiling photo. "I will tell you about Max's soccer game later." Talking to a picture is silly, but the quiet room never judged me. These Saturday dinners kept our old life alive. It was a promise to Margaret and myself. I would not let sadness hide me away. I grabbed my navy suit jacket. I kept it for special nights. I liked trying hard. I wanted Amanda to be proud of me. I wanted to be a neat grandfather. I touched the sleeve. My phone buzzed on the table. It was a sharp sound. I looked at the screen. I thought Amanda wanted me to buy dessert. But the text was from Richard Park. He was my lawyer and friend for 25 years. The text was heavy. "Robert, stay there. Call me now. Urgent." My stomach dropped. Richard never joked about urgency. I thought he was hurt. A heart attack, a crash, or his wife, Susan. My hands shook. I tapped his name and called him. He answered on the second ring. He did not sound scared. He sounded worse. His tone was cold and strict. "Robert, are you alone?" he asked quietly. "Yes, Richard, I was going to Amanda's house. What is wrong? Are you okay?" "I am fine," he said, but I felt no peace. "Listen closely. Sit down." I sat on the hall bench. I held my jacket tight. "Richard, you scare me." He took a deep breath. "I should have called earlier. I checked your estate files. The ones we changed 8 months ago. I asked for full reports. I checked your retirement and investments." He stopped. "Robert, we have a problem, a huge problem." I waited in silence. "My reports look fine," I said. My voice was faint. "Amanda sends them every 4 months. The numbers are good." "Robert," Richard said. He sounded so sad. "The files Amanda sends are fake. They are altered PDFs. The real bank reports show different numbers." The room spun. The cedar smell faded. Fear tasted like metal in my mouth. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Over the past 2.5 years since Margaret died, someone stole your money. Your main account is mostly empty. They drained your retirement fund. Your $3.5 million life savings is mostly gone." Each word hit me hard. $3.5 million, all my hard work, my safety net for Margaret and my family, gone. It made no sense. "That is impossible," I said. "Only I can touch those accounts." Richard spoke softly. His words broke my world. "That is false, Robert. One other person can, the person with your power of attorney. You signed it at the hospital. You did it when Margaret got very sick. Someone had to manage things." He did not have to say her name. Only one person had it. The person hosting my dinner, my most trusted person. "It is Amanda," Richard whispered. "She took all your money." The phone almost fell. I bent forward. I held my head. The shiny walnut floor looked blurry. I gasped for air. It could not be my Amanda. I fixed her scraped knees. I paid for her college. Her wedding was my best day. My mind is usually calm. Now it was a storm of bad memories. 10 months ago, Amanda sat at my kitchen table. She had many papers. "Do not worry, Dad," she said. Her smile was so kind. "The market is crazy. I will manage things. I will keep it safe. You just rest." I remembered something else. I had asked about a big tax bill. Amanda waved her hand. "It is paid, Dad," she told me. "I moved money to cover it. It is part of the plan." Her words felt nice then. Now they were sharp knives. She emailed fake reports every 4 months. She always added a happy note. She told me to avoid the bank. She said the forms were too hard for me. She did not protect me. She trapped me. She built a kind cage, then she stole my life. Richard was still speaking. He pulled me back from the dark. Robert, Robert, are you there? Listen to me. This is vital. I made a small noise. Yes. Hide this from her, do you understand? Go to the dinner, act normal, smile, ask about Max. Let her feel in charge. If she guesses the truth, she will hide the rest of the cash. She will ruin files. We need time, Robert. I must track the money. You are my client now. We are at war. She does not know it yet. War, the word rang in my broken heart. I was a retired engineer. I made bridges. I did not fight wars, but I sat there. The heavy lie crushed me. Yet past the shock, my mind grew clear and cold. The engineer in me woke up. I saw the problem. The parts were hidden. The frame was breaking. I had to check the ruin. I stood up slowly. My legs shook. I felt like a falling building. I walked to the mirror. I looked at my face. I looked like a stranger. My eyes held deep pain. I looked 8 years older in just 12 minutes. My hands shook. I took a deep breath. I had to hide this weak man. I needed a new face. A man who could enter his daughter's home. A man who could kiss his grandson. A man who could eat food bought with stolen cash and smile brightly. I get it, I whispered to Richard. The act starts now. I ended the call. I stood still for a long time. The quiet house felt heavy. I took my navy suit jacket from the bench. I put it on. I fixed the collar. I smoothed the front. I walked out into the cool air. I left the old me in that empty house. I drove to Amanda Street. I helped build this rich world, but I did not belong there now. The houses were huge signs of wealth. They had neat lawns and tall trees. Amanda had the biggest house. It was a glass and stone palace. It glowed in the dark. I drove into her round driveway. The gates opened quietly. It was a silent greeting to their lie. Mark waited at the door. I had not even left my car. His smile was fake. He wore a silk shirt. It cost more than my food for a month. Robert, great to see you, he shouted. He hit my back too hard. That touch used to feel nice. Now it felt like he owned me. You too, Mark, I replied. My voice sounded oddly normal. I faked a smile. I feared my face would break. I walked inside. Their giant lie hit me hard. The hall was huge. The Spanish ceramic floor shined bright. The lights looked like stars. The air smelled of rose and sandalwood. It was a rich scent. Everything was clean and perfect. It was a gorgeous home, a home built on my ruined life. Amanda walked in. She wore an emerald green satin dress. Dad, she said sweetly. She walked close. You are here. She hugged me fast and cold. It was an actor's hug. Her ruby necklace pressed into me. I paid for that gem. You look tired, she noted. She stared at my face. Her eyes showed fake worry. Are you well? Just a long week, sweetheart, I replied. The word sweetheart tasted like ash. She took me to the living room. It had huge glass walls. We could see the pool and the Seattle lights. A big painting hung on the wall. We saw it at a shop 4 months ago. It cost a lot of money. An emerald ring shined on her finger. I did not know that ring. Every little thing was a new knife in my back. Mark gave me some fizzy water. Amanda sat on the black velvet sofa. Max was sleeping at a friend's house, she told me. I felt sad first. Then I felt glad. I could not look into his pure eyes today. We have great news, Mark said. He passed me the drink. He pointed outside. I traded the old SUV. I bought a new Ferrari. It is fast and smooth. That is great, I said weakly. I thought of the old SUV. It was a fine Acura. I helped him buy it 4 years ago. Amanda smiled wide. My firm got the Ritz-Carlton hotel job. It is huge, Dad. We are happy tonight. She raised her glass. It was a toast to her fake win. My stolen cash paid for it. I held my glass very tight. I had to stop my hand from shaking. Dinner talk was a pure act. They asked about my week, but they looked bored when I talked about my garden. They did not care. The true topic was always them. They talked about their goals and dreams. During the meal, Amanda changed her voice. She used her deep, caring tone. It was her best trick. "Dad, I checked your reports," she said. I felt cold in the warm room. "The market is weak. We should change your plan. Let us move risky funds to safe bonds. I worry about you. I want to keep you safe." It was a smart trick. She hid her theft with fake love. She acted like my shield, but she stole my money. She wanted total power over my last coins. Her nerve shocked me. Richard's voice filled my head. "Act normal, hide your thoughts." I drank some water slowly. I needed time to calm down. I looked at her. My daughter wore a mask of pure love. "That is so sweet, Mandy," I said. My tone was soft and firm. "But there is no need. I trust your choices. You help me so much. I need you." She looked relieved. It was quick, but I saw it. Her shoulders dropped. Her eyes calmed. She got her prize. She thought I was still blind. She thought her crime was hidden. The rest of dinner was a blur. They discussed a French Riviera trip. They talked about a new kitchen. They talked about a fancy school for Max. Every word dug a deeper hole for my old age. I just nodded and smiled. I played the weak old dad. I acted happy to be there. It was my hardest role. The next day, the sun lit up a weird city. My cozy home felt like a fake stage. I had to watch every word. My pain did not fade. It just turned into a hard rock in my chest. It was a strong will to fight. Richard Park's office was neat and smart. It was the opposite of my messy mind. Tall shelves held thick law books. They reached the ceiling. The room smelled of old paper, clean wood, and green tea. Richard always drank green tea. This room solved problems with facts, not crying. Richard sat at his huge oak desk. His face was stern and sharp. He looked like an army boss. Someone else was there. A young woman sat near me. She was about 32. Her name was Emily Foster. She had shoulder-length brown hair. Her sharp eyes missed nothing. She sat very still. It was scary. She did not smile or say sorry. She just nodded. Richard said she was a top money tracker. She stared at me with focus. She came to view a wreck. My life was that wreck. "Robert," Richard spoke directly, no small talk. "After you left, Emily and I checked the numbers. Amanda is not just greedy. She has a cold, clear plan." He slid a paper over the desk. It was a web of lines. It linked my money to fake firms and bad bets. My life was now a theft map. "I saw her stuff last night," I said dully. "The house, the cars, the gems, it is my cash." "It is worse," Emily spoke. Her voice was sharp and plain. "She does not just buy things. She hides funds. She moves cash through a fake firm named Horizon Ventures LLC. Then it goes to a bad resort project in Costa Rica. Mark runs that project. She cleans your money, Mr. Miller. She uses fake reports to keep you quiet." Richard leaned in. His hands were locked. "This is not a family fight, Robert. This is a crime. We will act like it. Here is the plan. It has two parts." He drank his tea. He showed me the battle plan. "Part 1 is data war. Emily will work in secret. She will track every cent. She will map their money web. I will force banks to give us real files. We will gather hard proof." He stared at me. "Your job is very hard. You must keep acting. You are the sad widower. You are the old, slow dad. You are lost in today's world. Call her for... She must act. She will try to block you. She will call you crazy. She will push too hard. Then she will step into our trap. We will have all the proof." I took in their smart, cold plan. It ran on logic and my child's greed. It used her pride as a hook. My real silence helped her for 2.5 years. Now my fake silence would crush her. The pain remained in my gut. But I felt something new. It felt like a good machine turning on. The next days were a tense act. I was a star in my own play. My lawyer wrote my lines. The first step was easy. On Wednesday morning, I called Amanda. I waited until 10:00. I knew she was busy. I wanted to annoy her. "Dad," she said. She sounded a bit mad. "Is everything okay?" I sighed heavily. I practiced that sound a lot. "Oh, honey, sorry to call. I have insurance forms. They use big words. The letters blur together. Margaret used to do this." I let my voice fade. I planted the fake seed of old age. Her anger died. She used her bossy tone. Sure, Dad, do not fret. Leave them on the table. I will fix them later. You saved me, sweetheart, I said. My brain is slow now. It was a lie, it hurt to say, but I had to. I waited at home. When she came, I made her tea. We sat at the kitchen table. She sorted the forms fast. She talked to me like a baby. As she left, I did part two. Oh no, I said. I patted my pockets wildly. I left my wallet in your car, so silly. It is fine, Dad, she said. She was out the door. I will look, be careful. The door shut. My real wallet was in my pocket. Now I had a reason to visit her fast. The big trick was on Friday. I met Henry Wallace for lunch. We were friends for 35 years. Henry was a huge gossip. Tell him a secret and the town knows by dusk. We sat at our old cafe. It had the best club sandwich in Seattle. We chatted about health and kids. It felt so nice. Lying to him felt bad, but Richard's voice urged me on. This was war. You know, Henry, I said. I stirred my lemonade. This big house is too empty. Margaret is gone. It is hard to clean. Henry nodded kindly. It is tough alone, Robert. I sighed and slouched. I have an idea. A pal moved to Palm Springs, California, a rich senior town, pools and nice meals, no chores. I laughed sadly. He just picks his food. Sounds nice, right? I sold the lie with fake stress. I must sell my home, of course, cash it all out. Why stay in a big tomb? Henry's eyes got big. His mind raced. This was big news. He swore to be quiet, but we both knew he would blab. I left the cafe. I felt proud but dirty. I used a good friend. While I acted old, Emily dug through data. She sent a safe text to Richard. He sent it to me. Her news was scary. The fake firm Horizon Ventures LLC was active. It funded a fancy beach resort in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. The build was late and cost too much. Mark ran the funds. They did not just buy fast cars. They tossed my cash into a bad bet. They used my last dimes to float it. They needed my house badly. They wanted the cash to survive. She called at 6:15 p.m. I was eating soup. Amanda's name popped up. I let it ring 3 times. My heart beat fast. Dad, she sounded fake and tense. Henry Wallace called me. He claims you want to sell the house. You want to go to California. I used a weak, lost voice. Oh, was it a secret? We were just chatting. It is just an idea. This home is hard work. Sell the house, she yelled. Her voice went high. Dad, no, you cannot. It is our home. Margaret's memories live there, every single room. How can you sell it? Her act was perfect. She sounded so sad, but I heard pure fear. I am just old, Mandy, I said. I used her pet name. I cannot fix the yard. I want an easy life. I want some sun. No, no, she spoke fast. We will fix it. We can hire help, a yard man, a fixer. I will manage it. Do no work. Do not act fast. Do not call an agent. Promise me, Dad, let me help. Her words were wild. She wanted to grab control back. She had to save my house. She did not care about her mom's ghosts. She cared about her bad Costa Rica bet. I gave a vague promise to think. I left her stressed and scared. I ended the call. I looked outside. My soup was cold. I smiled a hard smile. The trap was ready. She ate the bait. My smart child was stuck in my net. She did not know the old man held the ropes. The house was very quiet now. It was the calm of a chess game. I waited for her next move. It would be fast. Panic makes people rush. 2 days later, on a Sunday afternoon, she rang. Her tone was overly sweet. Dad, Mark and I are close by. We want to visit. I spoke to a money pro. He made a clear plan for you. It will calm your fears about the house. Sure, honey, I replied. My voice sounded tired and weak. Come on in. The trap was open. I had an hour. I moved slow and exact like a smart engineer. My goal was an antique clock Margaret left on the shelf. It was an old item, but it pointed right at the sofa. I flipped it. The base was empty. The bug Richard gave me was tiny. It was a black cube with a hidden lens. I taped it inside the clock. I put the clock back. I moved it just a bit. Outside, it looked like normal decor. Inside, it hid a quiet spy. They showed up looking like models on a magazine cover. Amanda wore a crisp blazer. Mark wore a V-neck sweater. They held a thick leather folder. It was an act. They wanted to look like pros to make me feel weak and confused. "Dad," Amanda started. Her voice sounded so worried. She sat across from me and put the folder on the table. "We felt anxious after our last chat. Mark and I spoke about it. We think selling the house is a huge error. It is bad for your heart and your wallet." She opened the folder. It held bright charts, graphs, and thick blocks of text. "We asked our guy, Mr. Sterling, to do the math. Look," she said, pointing to a chart. "The market is falling. Selling now means you lose at least 12% of its top price. It is not a wise time to cash in such a big asset." I leaned in. I squinted at the pages like they were in Greek. "Oh wow, that is a ton of math, Amanda. It looks very hard to read." "It is, Dad, but we are here to help." Mark jumped in, leaning close. "We can guide you. Amanda is great at this. We do not want you to make a bad choice." I shook my head. I waved off the folder. "I am not sure, kids. I just know this yard is too large. The stairs are steep now. California sounds easy and nice. No charts, just sun." I played the part well. I acted like the slow, stubborn old man they saw. Amanda looked annoyed for a second. Then she hid it with a fake, calm smile. "Let us drop the math for a bit," she said gently. "Think of Mom. Think of the past in this home, the plants she grew, the times we made huge holiday meals. You cannot sell that, Dad. You just cannot." Playing on my feelings was her best trick. She used it when facts failed. Hearing her use Margaret to trick me broke my heart. It felt like cold ice. I had to leave the room before I lost my cool. I got up slow. "You gave me much to think on. Let me make some tea. My head is spinning." I walked to the kitchen. I knew the true act would now start. Once they heard the water run, their fake smiles would vanish. I hid out of sight. My back hit the wall. I kept very quiet and tracked the time. Soon I heard Mark whisper. He sounded scared. "Do you think he will really sell, Amanda? The Costa Rica project. The backers are on edge. We need more cash. We needed it weeks ago." Paper moved. Then Amanda spoke. Her voice was not sweet now. It was cold and sharp. "He will not sell," she hissed. "I will not let him. He is more lost than I guessed. This California dream proves it." Mark asked, "But what if he calls a broker? What then?" Mark sounded full of fear. They went quiet. Then came words that froze my blood. "Then we take the next step," Amanda said. She had no feelings in her voice. "I will prove he is not fit to choose. I will speak with Dr. James Smith again. I will get a strict ruling. Our basic legal rights cannot block a sale if he pushes it. We need full wardship. We need total control. It is the only way to guard our stakes, to save the family." Save the family, that lie was huge. It was almost pure art. I stayed in the kitchen for 5 minutes. I gripped the counter tight. My hands turned white. I made noise with cups and spoons. I walked back in with tea I did not want. They sat quiet when I came back. The folder was shut. Their faces looked kind and caring again. They left fast. They swore they would call and help me out. As soon as their car drove off, I walked to the shelf. My hands shook. I took the small tape deck from the antique clock. I sat in my seat. Margaret called it my thinking chair. I plugged the bug into my phone. I hit play. My own fake, lost voice filled the quiet room. Then came their whispers. Mark was scared. Next came my girl. She was cold and clear. She planned to have me locked away as crazy. She plotted to take all I owned. We need full wardship. I heard the tape 2 times. The first run broke my heart to bits. Hearing my own kid plan my legal end hurt too much for words. But the next time a change hit me. The builder in me woke up. The guy who made bridges and knew stress points took charge. The hurt stayed, but it got wrapped up in thick, cold ice. My raw grief cooled down. It turned into sharp, clean plans. The ache was huge, but the proof was real. She said it. He backed up the goal. Their masks fell. A tape now held their real faces. My girl just gave me the tool to wreck her life. I had proof of her bad plan. The fight had truly started. The days after that meet felt very odd. I just went through my basic tasks, but a war grew in my head and inside Emily Foster's secure drives. I cut the roses. I read the news. I acted like Robert Miller, old builder, but a phone ring stopped my heart. I waited for the trap to spring. I knew it would hit hard. The call hit on a Thursday morning. The sky was dull and gray. It was Richard Park. He skipped small talk. "Robert," he said, "it is here. They filed it today." I knew what it meant. "Read it," I said. I sank into my chair. "A plea for wardship." Richard Park read the text. His firm, legal tone made the bad words sound freezing. "Filed by Amanda Miller for Robert Miller. It claims a fast mental drop. It cites odd acts, bad memory, and poor money choices." I gripped the chair. "Poor money choices. Right." Richard Park read on, not missing a beat. "The main proof is your crazy choice to sell your home. They say this risks you going broke and living on the street. They use your fake idea to prove you are sick." I shut my eyes. They took my bait and tried to hang me with it. The shame felt real. Heat rushed from my chest up to my face. My own child told a judge I had lost my mind. "It gets worse," Richard Park. It was their huge final error. "So what is next?" I asked. My voice grew strong again. "Now," Richard Park said, his voice hit like a hammer, "we let her walk into court. She will think she rules the room. We let her speak. Then we crush her case bit by bit. We use bank slips, tape tracks, and Emily Foster's full map of the theft. We will show the judge who makes crazy money choices." He stopped, letting the heavy words sink in. "She asked the court if you are sane. Fine. Now we will show them who is truly wild." The weeks before court were a blur. We got ready without rest. The first shock died down. Cold, pure drive took its place. The big legal gears started turning. They whirred in Richard Park's quiet rooms and my silent house. We did not just wait anymore. We built a firm case. It would crush the fake world my girl built. We fought on three sides. We were troops in a mute war. Emily Foster ran the tech front, a field of numbers and trades. In her clean, bare office with bright screens, she built Amanda's doom. Day by day, she joined the broken bits of my bank life. Her final work was not just paper. It was a tool. A thick black book full of neat, hard proof. Bright charts tracked cash leaving my pension. Matching charts showed it hit Horizon Ventures LLC. Time tracks paired big cash pulls to large buys by Amanda or Mark. A new car, a house fee, a plush trip to the French Riviera. The core was a huge, deep flow chart. Emily Foster called it the crime map. It showed my money hit the Shell Group. Then it fed the bad Costa Rica resort. Sometimes it ran back to their bank as fake boss fees. It was a masterwork of money checks. A tale of huge theft told in stark grids and bank lines. Richard Park handled the law. He turned his space into a war room. I would stop by and find him deep in law books. Yellow notes marked main rules and past rulings. He built the bone frame of our case. He formed pleas to turn Emily Foster's facts into a court win. He printed local laws on old age money abuse. He marked lines that called it not just theft but a broken trust. He wrote harsh queries for Amanda's bought folks. He meant to show their cash ties to her and Mark. He typed forms to force talks and grab facts. No stone would sit bare. He built our shield and ground our sword. He planned to march into court not just to save me, but to hunt them. My job was quiet but very deep. It was the fight for my clear mind in the eyes of the law. The court picked a fair-brained Dr. Sarah Bennett. She had to test my mind. I met her in a bright, calm room. It smelled of tea and old books. Amanda sketched me as a lost, crazy old man. I thought the best defense was to just be me. I did not speak of the scam or the stab in the back. I spoke of my life. I told her of my days as a builder. I spoke of bridges I drew and math for heavy loads. I brought up water grids I ran for Seattle. I spoke sharp, like a man who spent 35 years making sure things stayed up. I shared my daily plan and my cash flow. I told how I watched home costs to the last cent. Dr. Bennett sat quiet. Her face showed no clues. She asked keen, smart prompts. At the close of our next chat, she shut her book. She looked at me. "Mr. Miller," she said, "from our talks and tests, you are one of the sharpest and most careful folks I have seen this year. Selling your home to make retirement easy is a smart, logical choice. It is not crazy at all. We built our block by hard block, but it was Emily Foster who found a deep crack in their base right before court, a crack that would crash the whole bad shell. She phoned Richard Park on a Wednesday night. I was at his desk going over my facts. Richard Park used the speaker. Emily Foster sounded odd. Her normal cool tone was gone. She held in pure shock. "Richard Park, Robert," she started. "I ran a last check on Margaret's forms. I looked at her life plan payouts to be sure we had it all. I found a clue. She told us Margaret had a huge life payout. She set it up long ago for our grandson Max's school fund." "But," Emily Foster went on, her tone stiff, "I found a text change, a request to flip the payout target. It was filed 4 weeks before Margaret died. The main payee flipped from the Max Miller School fund to Amanda Miller, daughter." Cold fear hit me. I recalled Margaret in those late weeks. She was weak and lost from the strong pain pills. "There is more," Emily Foster said. "I viewed tons of Margaret's pen strokes, checks, forms, notes. Her name tag was always bold and neat. The mark on this new form is weak but also off. The slant on the first letter is wrong. The end loop is too tight. It does not look like a sick person signed it. It looks like a fake drawn by a crook." The room fell quiet. The meaning was evil. This was not just robbing a live dad. This was about stealing from a dying mom. It was stealing her last gift to her own grandchild. Richard Park stood and walked to the glass. His back faced me. He said zero for a long time. When he turned, his face was pure, cold rage. He grabbed his phone. "Emily Foster," he said. His tone was deep and grim. "Send me a crisp scan of that mark right now." He stopped, then called a new line. "Yes, this is Richard Park," he said. "I must speak to Michael Chang. Tell him it is a huge rush. I need a pro view on a fake mark. I need it fast." He hung up. His eyes burned. "The grim truth just got much worse, Robert, but our case got stronger." Court was a hall of bright wood and quiet awe. Huge choices got made there under the state seal. The air was thick with deep focus. I sat next to Richard Park. My hands sat on my knees, my back was stiff. I was not the bad guy, but I felt my full life was on trial. Across the path sat Amanda and Mark. Her face showed a fake mask of sweet care. She looked the pure hero saving her dad. Her attorney went first. He had gray hair and a smooth voice. He drew a great sketch of my fall. He spoke of a fond child scared for a sad dad making wild choices. He called his first fake friend. The pal told of a chat where I seemed lost and crazed about moving far off. Then he called Amanda's work buddy. This pal claimed I acted spacey and weak at a past event. It was a smooth, killer act. If you did not know the truth, I looked just like a frail old man. When Richard Park stood, the mood flipped. He did not jump up mad. He rose with a cold, still calm. He knew he held all the winning cards. "The other side drew a man with a broken mind," he said. His voice echoed. "We will start by showing the judge a much truer view." He did not call me up. He called Dr. Sarah Bennett. The court's mind doc took her seat. She looked strictly neutral. Richard Park walked through her tests. "Dr. Bennett," he asked, "as a pro, did you find Mr. Miller unfit to run his own life?" Dr. Bennett stared at the judge. "The total flip side, sir," she said with a bold tone. "Mr. Miller shows a superb brain for his age. His mind is sharp, his logic is tight. He grasps deep money facts better than most folks I see. In my firm view, he is fully sane." A low buzz swept the room. I saw Amanda tense up. The first block in her false wall just fell out. "Next," Richard Park stated, "we call Emily Foster." She walked up with the cool calm I saw at the office. She swore in. A big screen lit up in back. "Miss Foster," Richard Park began, "you trace money tracks. Can you show the judge what this grid means?" For the next 50 minutes, Emily Foster coldly and fully smashed Amanda's fake tail. Using the screen, she led the room through the map of my robbed life. She showed steady cash dumps from my bank. She paired them to drops into Horizon Ventures LLC. She showed photos of Mark's Ferrari, Amanda's gems, and their grand trips. The dates matched my big cash drops. The court sat dead quiet. The bleak math told a hard truth. Amanda turned stark white. Mark stared at his palms. He could not look up. Then Richard Park hit play on the tape. My tired, fake voice spoke. Mark's nervous breath begged for cash for the Costa Rica project. Then came Amanda's voice. It was cruel and icy. It cut right through the still room. If I must, I will prove he is not fit to pick. Basic legal rights are not enough. We need full wardship. We need total grip. A big gasp swept the crowd. The sweet daughter mask was ripped off. The grim face of a thief showed through. Amanda slumped in her seat. Her eyes got huge. She could not grasp her own words trapped her. Richard Park let the quiet drag on. Then he gave the last kill shot. He faced the judge. His voice now shook with pure anger he had hidden all day. "Your Honor," he said loud and clear, "you saw deep greed and a vile trap today, but the sick truth is much darker. This is not just hurting a live dad. This plot kicked off when her own mom was dying." He called his last man Michael Chang. He was a famous writing pro. Richard Park put the death payout form on the screen. "Mr. Chang," Richard Park asked, "can you check the mark of Margaret Miller on this page?" The pro touched his glasses. "Margaret Miller's name here is a fake," he said flatly. "It copies her curves, but it lacks natural speed. It shows slow, tight strokes. It is not the mark of a weak, sick woman. It is the work of a fit person drawing a fake." The room felt airless. Richard Park shared his last sheets. They showed the real payout slip. A $3.5 million sum hit Amanda's private bank right after Margaret passed. A last bleak form from the state proved no Max Miller school fund ever lived. She did not just rob me. She stole her dying mom's last gift to her own boy. That was when everything snapped. Mark was pale and stiff. He slowly turned to look at his wife. His face held no rage. It just held pure, raw terror. He was a crook, but he never knew his bride was a monster. He saw her true self for the first time. The view crushed him, but it was Amanda who broke apart. The complex web of lies, the fake front, and years of deceit fell on her head. A choked gasp left her mouth. Her calm mask did not just crack, it blew up. She put her face in her hands. Her back shook with ugly cries. The smart, cool planner was gone. A basic crook sat there, caught red-handed, her crimes bared to the world. In the wreck of her lies, the real ruling was not from the judge. It came from the hard, crushing weight of truth. Amanda's cries filled the hall. The judge had seen too much to be shocked easily. She gave her ruling. Her voice was icy. "The plea for wardship is denied," she said. She locked eyes with Amanda. "Today's proof shows no caring child. It shows a gross, sick abuse of this court and a poor father." She kept going. "As of right now, this court locks all funds owned by Amanda and Mark Miller. Also, I'm handing this full case to the state lawyer. The bad cash acts and the fake signatures will get a harsh criminal probe at once." Her stern voice was final. The war was done. 4 months later, warm spring sun hit my back. I knelt in the dirt. Rich soil smells filled the air. The legal fights were over. A storm had blown by. It left a scarred but clear yard. Amanda and Mark faced the grim cost of their deeds, a dark path that lacked me. The back door slid open. I looked up. My grandson Max walked my way. At 18, his eyes held his mom's keen wits, but his grin held his grandma's pure warmth. He sat on the grass. I wiped dirt off my pants. I grabbed a neat tan folder off the bench. I gave it to him. "I want you to have this," I said. He opened the flap. He pulled out a paper and read the top lines. "The Max Miller School Fund." "Your grandma," I began, my voice shook. "She wanted you to have a prime start. She built this for you. Things got messy for a bit, but Richard Park and I fixed it. This is hers. It is yours now." Max looked from the form to my face. His eyes were wet. He said nothing. He just leaned in. He wrapped his arms around me. His hug was tight and strong. I held him close. I looked up past the red blooms and the tall tree to the clear sky. Right then, pure, deep peace washed over me. I lost a child to a grim dark I never thought real. But fighting my way back to the light, I saved Max's path forward. I kept my wife's name pure. I fully won back my own self. The war was over. My silent heart felt no grief now. It just held a tough, quiet peace. This tale shows that true grit grows in silence. It shows how fast blind trust gets warped by greed. It can turn family into harsh foes. The big lesson is not payback. It is about taking back what is yours.